Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello. I'm multitasking. There we go. Live on Instagram. Okay. Hi,
Yay.
world. Um, yeah. So we're in a few places. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. We're
Yes.
everywhere.
Yes.
So I'm here today with my amazing friend Parisa.
Hello.
And we were having a conversation where like we should have this like publicly, like with other
Yes.
people listening in, about the power of the access consciousness body processes. Um, and this is if you're not familiar with access consciousness, or maybe you're not familiar with the body processes, um, it's these hands-on energies, basically like energy work, that when you give them to a body, run them on a body, whatever you want to say, um, they create enormous change and enormous possibility. And to me, it's like we could talk for days about the gift of what these processes create and what they change. And I would say, like, they change our bodies at a molecular, cellular, energetic level, and that translates into our lives. And that's actually one of the really magical things about the body processes is they're not just about the body. They're about how we function in the world, basically. And when our bodies are different, easier, happier, our life is easier and different, and we are happier. so,
Yes.
so Prisa, you did tell us about because there's one particular body process. There's hundreds of body processes there's a 3-day body class where you get like 60 of them.
Mm-hmm.
There's the Access Consciousness Foundation class, which you have to take before that, where you get a few of them. And then there's the advanced body class where you get some different ones. So there's hundreds of these energies for different things. And you played with one of them in particular called MTVSS, which you get in the
Yeah.
foundation class. And tell us about that.
Yeah. So I've heard Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, say so many times, like, you guys gotta run MTBSS 20 to 30 times for 30 weeks and just see what changes in your life. And I was like, oh yeah, good idea. And then I heard it again. You guys gotta run MTBSS. And I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. And I didn't do it. And I didn't do it. And then one time I heard it, and I was like, F it, I'm doing this. Like, whatever it takes, I'm just doing this just to see what it creates, not with any sort of result in mind, but just for fun. And I'm on, I think, week 18 is
Oh my
this
gosh.
week. And I have a completely different reality with my body. And yeah, it's been the first time that I can really remember that I've committed to something generative with my body without coming from a place of judgment or lack or um yeah, but truly just for the joy and pleasure of it all. And it's been such a gift.
That is so cool. I
Yeah.
love that. Wow. Amazing. So what kinds of things are showing up? Like, are there specific kind of like things you could report, or is it more just like a general sense of ease?
Yeah. Well, at first, it was up until I think like week 13. I was like, this is just great. And I didn't really have any sort of specific thing. But then I missed 2 weeks of it. I like couldn't find a trading buddy. And then it was during those 2 weeks where I was like, oh my gosh, like I've changed a lot of stuff with my body. I went to like my annual physical, which I love having. I love my doctor. And she's like, "Oh, you've lost a lot of weight and this is different." And I just felt different in my body. And it was kind of like that contrast like gave me some space to look back and be like, "Oh my gosh, I really am so different."
That's so
Um yeah.
and so I mean, I think in every area of life, it's like so often we're so on to like what's next, what more, what else, that we don't always take time to look at what is and what has changed. And, it's really great when you give yourself the gift of that, of being like, wow, yeah, like let's take stock of what this has created so far,
Yeah.
and you can still ask for more, and it's like, there's that, yeah, just the beauty of the acknowledgement of what is being created. Because a lot of times with these processes too, they are so energetic, and the tools of access consciousness are so energetic, that sometimes things change so dynamically just over time, and you don't really notice because you're just like
Yeah.
more you're like, yeah, I've been me all along. Oh yeah, except I was like also being like my parents, my grandparents, my dog,
Yes.
being your dog is probably the best choice of all.
True. True,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's been so cool, and it's gifting and receiving. Like when you gift a body process, you also receive the gift of that body process and vice versa. So it's been amazing, just all the like beautiful bodies I've been trading with. I've been trading like all over the US. I've come to a few of your body classes in that time, and it's amazing how different it can be each time. You might, someone might think, oh, it's the same. It's MTVSS. It's the same every time, but every single session is so different, and it's two bodies coming together, and that creates infinite possibilities.
yeah, totally. It is really, yeah. This is one of my favorite things about the 3-day body class and the advanced body class, both of them, is that when you get together, like people that, the seekers of the world, the humanoids, whatever you want to, like people that are different, that are looking at possibilities, interested in something different, you get together and you play with these energies. Well, and even just two bodies together, it's like there's this incredible communication that occurs with bodies and between bodies, that it is it's so beyond what we're used to, like beyond what most people would acknowledge. But there's this exchange of energy and an exchange of information. It's very, to me, it reminds me of Avatar. The
Yeah.
first one I think is way better than the second, but
Yes.
um, get all family on us. But yeah, it's that play that they have with their bodies and the earth and the tree and each other, and it's just like this. I know when I saw that movie, I was like, wow, this is what I've always known. And there is something about that, the just taking the time, whether it's 2 hours to exchange processes with somebody who knows them, or going to a class, for 3 days, a 3-day body class or advanced body class, where you give your body this gift that so many people are not willing to give their bodies, and their life, like themselves, too busy, don't have the money, all these excuses that we use to like, continue to stay in the rat race
Yeah.
and keep like, trudging ahead, rather than like and for me, these like the advanced body class, I've taken it many, many times. And the first one I took was 9 years ago. I think it was in
Wow.
2013. So taking a lot of those classes and a lot of 3-day body classes, and I facilitate 3-day body classes. And one of the things that's always really blown me away with advanced body classes is that and all of them really, is that my whole creative business and financial reality is always so much greater after an advanced body class
Yes. So true.
or a 3-day body class. And, yeah. Um, and so as our bodies like have this energetic, reorganization and letting go, a lot of it is like letting go.
Yeah.
in the 3-day class, especially this letting go of everywhere we've made ourselves, our parents, our dog, our, like everybody else and not like us,
Mhm.
like allowing the body to kind of like slough that off,
Yeah.
this kind and nurturing way. And, and then there's this different creative and generative reality that shows up. And for me, with the advanced body class, there's just this incredible, like, exponentializing of how I'm able to create in the world that doesn't even have words. Like, I can't define how that works. It's very
Yeah.
magical.
Truly, truly. I know every time because I have the pleasure of working in your business, and I know every time you go to an advanced body class, I'm like, all right, let's go. The creative juices are flowing, and everything just gets this like energetic zhuzh and expansion, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's so
It's so,
nonlinear, like you
yeah,
said.
it's so cool. And we called this a powerful tool for body ease. I know, like, for me, with these body processes, I've just been able to change like everything. I mean, there's a lot, I use a lot of body tools and I talk about a lot of body tools. Some of them are access consciousness specific tools, and some of them are tools that are not, like formally part of access. But to me, it's just like, the tools that my body likes to play with. And, but I would say that the body processes, and these energies, including the access bars, which is a body process that's run on the head. These energies, really, gosh, it's really good I didn't go outside. We were going to do this outside. It's so windy out there now.
Oh, really?
Okay, good. I'm glad I'm not out there.
Yes.
But these processes, have just, they've changed. They're the ground. They create the ground in my body, like the space
Mhm.
in the ground, not from solidity, but like the space for my body to have all these different realities, and to have peace and ease and let go of stuff. And, and I've like gotten rid of like very severe seasonal allergies, just kind of vanished when I started doing this stuff. People always ask me, like, what was the process that you used? Well, there wasn't one. It was
Yeah.
just following, asking my body. And I love it. Daniel's, what would it take to be able to afford to take 3-day body classes a month, like every month? That's fantastic. I love that.
And I
Great.
also just want to say, like, if you guys have ever taken a 3-day body class, like this was free. Like my MTVS every week, like I just drove to someone's house, and I just chose. That was the hardest part, was just getting it scheduled, and
Right.
then after
You have,
that,
if you know the,
yes, no,
because you can take individual body process classes that are like 2.5 hours, 3 hours, where you learn one of them. So those are like, that's, I don't know, maybe $100 or 65 or something. It depends on the facilitator. But then the foundation class, which is a 4-day class, which is also just phenomenal, gives you totally, yeah, just completely new way of creating everything, that you learn maybe 4 or so of them in there. I can't remember where it is now, but they just updated it. But so, there is some level of like getting your hands on the tools if you don't know these tools at all, right? But
Mhm.
if you've taken a body process class, or you've taken a foundation class, or you've taken a 3-day or whatever, it's like, prioritize that in your life, and find people to exchange with. And going to the classes is amazing too. It's, but it isn't it the Gary Douglas, who's the founder of Access Consciousness, and he creates this, and he and Dane here kind of, I don't even want to say like they co-create, they sort of like co-perceive, and
I
receive
love
these
that.
processes. They're
Yeah,
kind of like they download them in a way.
yeah,
Uh,
totally.
together. And, you know, Gary talks about this being the future of medicine. And to me, that resonates so deeply. Because, you know, I mean, we've all seen what happens in the world. You know, there's been so much of this, you know, when you go down that whole Western pharmaceutical path, you know, I was kind of lucky in a way to have my body show me at a very young age that that was not going to work for me, through some pretty major medical stuff. But you know, ultimately it set me up to be like, no, thank you. There's got to be something greater, you know. And you know, really, it's like, I mean, at age 50, whatever I am, 53, I guess, my body just gets greater all the time, not from participating in that whole world, you know, of pharmaceuticals and all that stuff, but from getting to know my body more and running these processes, and, you know, really gifting my body the time and the space, you know, whatever that is, you know, to move, to receive, to, you know, play with the earth, which is just like whipping right now. It's
I
crazy.
can hear it. I'm like, wow, hello.
It's pretty full on.
Yeah.
The trees are like, you know, blowing sideways.
They're dancing.
So yeah, so it's a different way of living and a different way of functioning where you prioritize this. And the funny thing is about, you know, paying for the classes and stuff, it's like when it's a priority for you and you choose it, and you know, that's a really powerful that's a powerful creative element. You know, it's the most powerful creative element, because the money follows that. You know, it's not about I have the money and now I can choose. It's like I'm prioritizing this and I'm choosing this, and I don't know how it's going to show up, but I am. Body, hey, body, what do you know about this? You know?
Yeah, because money's for our bodies, which is something that totally blew my mind when I first learned about that. I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So ask your bodies, like, what would it take to create more money, and what they know about that as well. I know you've created some magical stuff with that.
You know, my first advanced body class, it was here in Denver, where I live in Colorado, and Gary Douglas was coming, and I had just taken a foundation class. So I was pretty new to Access, and my body was like, we are going to that class. And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. Because there's, you know, I had to take 2 3-day body classes. Of this one other class, there was 3 prerequisites I needed to take to get to the advanced body. And I just was kind of like, well, okay. One of the things I learned in foundation is about how choice creates. And so let me see if I can put the choice first before the money. You know, we're so used to like the money first, and then I can have the choice. You know, if I have the money, I have the choice. And I flipped it, and I was like, let me have the choice, and allow the money to show up to contribute to that choice. You know, and allow the choice to pull the money and rearrange the molecules of the universe, basically. You know.
Yeah.
And I did. I just, you know, I don't even know. I mean, I started doing all kinds of stuff, but I just created it, you know, within, I don't know, maybe 4 months. It was thousands of dollars. I don't know how much it was at the time, but it was a lot more than I was used to creating, you know. But I included my body in it, and my body just changed so much. And it's shown me so much over the years of, like, every time my body asks for something different, I know it's going to change my whole life if I give it.
Wow. Yeah. That's beautiful.
So what else is possible?
Truly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
So body processes, one of the most, beautiful gifts that, once you, you know, you learn it, you know, people that do it, and you get yourself in kind of like a you know, you get some peeps in your life that do it and like to exchange, it's like you can do it all the time, you know, and that's really what it's meant for. It's not meant for like, you just need to go to all these classes all the time. You know, it's like, take this tool and use it in your life abundantly, you know, and let it set you up for, because the world is changing rapidly. The future is changing rapidly. And we have no, you know, who knows like what's going to be going down, you know. But if with these tools, I just feel like, if we don't have food or we don't have water or whatever, you know, I'm not really like putting energy into that being the future. But, you know, if there is anything like that, or, you know, even greater, you know, worse, you know, more intense bugs flying around, you know, viruses, whatever, you know, it's like, I so trust my body to be able to navigate all of that with ease, actually, because of these tools.
Yes.
So cool.
I'm spacey now. I'm like, now let's go run body processes. I'll fly over.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I'm doing a class here in Colorado on 17th, 18th, 19th of June. So about 10 days from now. There's an advanced body class here also in Denver 2 days later. So the 21, 22, 23, I believe, with Grace Douglas, who is absolutely phenomenal. She is a elegant, beautiful powerhouse of space and magic.
Accurate.
She's amazing. And so that's happening. And there's Gary Douglas and Grace are doing a 3-day body class next weekend in Houston. I'm doing another one in Zurich, Switzerland in July. So there's lots of possibilities. And there's a foundation class here as well with me in August. So lots of fun ways to play and create more deliciousness in your life.
So that's what it's all about.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes you have to like get out of pain, get out of illness, get out of the intense stuck stuff, you know, in order to have that, you know. And I definitely can. I was there when I started this. I was in a lot of pain. My body was really not a lot of ease. And it becomes more so all the time. It's really cool.
And that's what's so amazing about the body processes, is that it can facilitate you wherever you're at. It's not like, oh, just, you know, when you're in pain or when you're feeling like you're on top of the world. Wherever you and your body are at, the process will meet you there, literally.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks everybody for being with us now and later, and Parisa, and we'll see y'all later.